Imagine the most powerful religious leader on earth wearing simple white robes, no golden crown, walking into a room full of powerful politicians. In September 2015, Pope Francis did something no pope had ever done before. He stood before the United States Congress and spoke to the entire nation. It was a moment 200 years in the making, a moment America would never forget. Pope Francis arrived in Washington on the 22nd of September 2015. The crowds were enormous. Thousands lined the streets just to catch a glimpse of the little white car carrying him. He met President Barack Obama at the White House, prayed with bishops, and canonized a saint, Junipero Serra, a Spanish missionary who built churches across California. The country was buzzing with excitement. Then came the speech, the first ever by a pope to the US Congress. Pope Francis spoke about 4 famous Americans: Martin Luther King Jr., Abraham Lincoln, Dorothy Day, and Thomas Merton. He told the politicians to care for the poor, to welcome immigrants, and to protect the planet. Many lawmakers listened in stunned silence. The speech was bold, gentle, and very direct. The next day, Pope Francis flew to New York City. He addressed the United Nations General Assembly and called climate change one of the great moral challenges of the age. Then he rode through Central Park in the famous Pope Mobile, greeting hundreds of thousands of cheering people. The climax came at Ground Zero. He stood in silence at the 9/11 memorial, praying beside victims' families. The whole city held its breath. From New York, the Pope traveled to Philadelphia for the World Meeting of Families. Over 1 million people filled the streets. On the final day, September 27, he held a giant outdoor mass on the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. Families waved, children cheered, and church bells rang across the city. It was the largest public event of his entire trip and his farewell to America. Pope Francis boarded the plane home to Rome. Lawmakers argued about his messages on climate and immigration. Religious leaders praised his calls for mercy. And somewhere in America, a kid remembered watching the news and thinking a man in white had just changed the conversation. The last papal visit to the US had been Benedict XVI in 2008. Nobody knew when the next pope would come. Nobody knew what the world would look like by then.